Hey everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you. What are we on? Episode 3? No, 4 of the 5-cylinder turbo build? Yeah. So this is episode 4 of the 5-cylinder turbo build. You might notice that the Arashi is actually sitting in place now. It's just a mock-up. It's not permanently in. Still a lot to do before that thing actually gets bolted down for the last time. But this episode is going to be more of an update, if you will. I've been doing a lot of work off camera, but I wanted to keep you guys updated so you guys know what's going on and you know where we're at with everything. Because a lot happened in the last episode, and I kind of left it on a little bit of a, we need to figure some stuff out. So in the last episode, we did get the new condenser and the upgraded Mishimoto radiator in place. And I remember telling you I was having a hard time remembering what that radiator was actually for. It's for a Mk5 R32, and they do list on their website that it has compatibility with pretty much all the Mark 5s and Mark 6s, if I remember right. It's not a direct bolt-in OEM replacement, if that makes any sense. Because on the core support, since that is a bigger radiator, it does fit, bolt right in, water necks, everything's in the same spot, but it's a thicker radiator and it pushes the condenser forward. So I did have to do some modifications to the core support to fit everything. Since everything moved forward, the condenser was now hitting the front side, so I had to clearance the core support here for this tubing, and then for this side over here, we had to notch it here and on the lower to get everything to fit and sit properly inside the core support. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that was really an easy, very simple, very minor modification to have to do to get everything to fit in here. Now, this definitely is a big boy radiator. It fills up the entirety of the core support. There is no leftover space, but it does bolt right in. All the mounting points and everything were in the same spot as factory because most of the Mark 5s share the same core support, have the same setup. It's just taller over the 2.5 5-cylinder factory radiator. So we're getting all that extra cooling. I did pick up a new fan shroud for it, the fan shroud that's designed for the R32, so it's got the proper fitment. We've got all the mounting bolts in. It covers the entire radiator, and then the bonus is that this extra space up here, because it does use the same fan setup, so all this extra space up here does have the flaps here, so at high speed, these flaps will just open up from wind pressure coming in through the grill, and you'll get maximum flow. They'll stay closed when it's running off of the fans. That way you're not just pulling air in from the backside, you're pulling air through the radiator. So this setup is properly in now, and basically ready to go back on the car when we're ready to put the core support back on. Now, this radiator is from Mishimoto, and the one thing that I've heard about it, complaint-wise, that I've heard from multiple different people, is that it does leak from the water neck. So when you put the water neck on, that bung that's welded onto the radiator doesn't seal properly and it leaks coolant. And I kind of just had that set in my head as, you know, that's something we'll deal with when the time comes. When we get to that point, we'll just, you know, deal with it. Now, luckily for me, someone reached out to me on Instagram who was using this radiator and ran into the same issue, and their solution was to just run a bigger O-ring. They sent me a link to what they use from Amazon, so I will leave that link down in the description below. Obviously, car's not to the point yet where I'm going to fill it up with coolant, so I don't know if that is the perfect solution for it or not, but that is what we're going to try and what we're going to be using when we get to the car ready to fill up with coolant to make sure there's no leaks. It is just a bigger O-ring, so it'll take up that gap, seal the water neck onto the bung properly so it doesn't leak. That being said, it is a bigger O-ring, so you're definitely going to want to have to, you know, lube it up really good so you can get it on there because it's going to be a tight fit. Worth it when there's no leaks, right? Because nobody wants a leaking coolant system. So yes, that is a bigger radiator. We should have ample cooling now for the turbo setup on here. The factory radiator did a perfect job at keeping the engine cool in NA form, especially when pushing it out on track. Had no coolant issues, no temp issues with the water temp. This should be an ample upgrade and be very effective at keeping the turbo system cool. And the fact that it's just basically an OEM upgrade. We've got the same connector on the fans here, so everything's going to work with the ECU and work the way it should. We just get more cooling capacity with this. But I think that's enough talk about radiators and cooling. Let's move on from that. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. A lot of the work that I've done this week has just been busy work. Stuff that needed to get done. It's not glamorous, nothing that needed to be filmed. Got the bottom side of the car all buttoned up from pulling the exhaust and the secondary O2 sensor. Got the passenger fender liner in. Just stuff like that. Keep in the garage, trying to keep it tidy and clean. That way when we get into the more fabrication side of this for running all the plumbing for the turbo and stuff, we got a clean workspace to work in. And I can find the tools because they've been starting to get scattered all over the place. But the one thing that I did do that was pretty cool this week is get the Arashi 3071R in its home. So this is just mocked up for now. It's not fully bolted in, but the turbo is attached to the 5-cylinder. And when I say attached, I mean the exhaust manifold is literally sitting on 2 studs with 1 nut holding it in so it doesn't rock, so it's actually in its final position. I've got the riser pipe that they use on the Mark IV sitting on 2 studs with 1 nut holding that on, and the turbo sitting on 2 studs on that with 1 nut holding that on. So it's in there in its final position. It's nowhere near fully bolted in yet. It's also definitely not clocked in the right position yet, so there's definitely a lot to do, but it is in there, and that's a huge step forward, I think, because that's kind of what we're going to build. All the extra framework, the tubing, the cooling, everything else has to be built off of where that turbo's sitting. And look how good that looks just sitting right there with that riser pipe. It elevates it, and it also turns the turbo so the intake is on the driver's side. It's definitely taller than the head and the valve cover, so when you pop the hood, that's going to be very noticeable right off the bat. It's not going to be tucked down in there. I did run the riser pipe because I want the intake on the driver's side. That's why we relocated the battery. We're going to put the filter right over here, run some tubing to there. Going to have to redo this pipe here, I think, for the coolant, because basically it's above level here. You can see it's going to cause problems for running the intake. So we're going to have to extend that, go down below it, I think, still run the pipe, just extend it and work with that. The exhaust is going to be on the passenger side, and I do plan on just doing a hood dump. So basically just a 90-degree pipe coming up. This thing's gonna sound amazing. The wastegate, probably just do a dump tube down the tunnel where the factory exhaust went. Just do a dump tube there. This setup should be pretty good. I did have to notch the firewall. That's how far I knocked it back, just in this section here for the cold housing. Not really an issue with the hot side. This should be a good setup. I actually had to notch that before I put it in there because it was too big of a cold housing to rock it between the valve cover and the firewall to get it set in place. I just made some cuts, bumped that piece back, welded it, sprayed some primer on it, and we are good to go. That's actually the same high heat primer that I used when I coated the manifold. That's primered with an aluminum colored paint on it, just to kind of keep the rust away. But this thing is shaping up to move forward in fast progression. And I know what you're thinking looking at that notch in the firewall. Brian, where are you going to put your ECU? So I'm actually deleting the entire wiper blade system, so the windshield wipers are going to be gone. I took the whole assembly out. I keep the windshield nice, clean, coated. The water just runs off of it anyway. I don't really plan on driving this in the wet anyways, being that it's going to be hood dump and everything. Definitely won't be able to park it outside in the wet. Don't want that filling up with water and water going down in the turbo and all that stuff. All this room over here, this is where your cables come in for the ECU. The ECU is just going to shift over. I think I can actually still use the same mounting plate, just shift it over on a couple pegs that are in there. Mount that plate, flip the ECU around, and everything should connect and give me enough space and be away from that turbo and that heat. And I think we're good to go. We don't have to do any wiring because the wiring is right where it needs to be anyway. Problem solved pretty simply on that, just deleting my wipers. I don't daily this anyway because it's the race car. Don't plan on driving it in the wet. If I do, water just glides right off the glass anyway. I don't think I really need them. Now, as for the rest of the front side of the motor, I am still waiting on some adapters and stuff to get all these holes plumbed in and get my sensors over here for my gauges, for my oil temp, my oil pressure. Hopefully I can just run those off of here on this SMP oil filter conversion housing. Will be a spin-on filter, which will be super nice. Got the crush washer in, got the factory oil pressure sender in. Everything's good to go. Just waiting on a couple adapters, like I said, to get the gauges wired in, and then an adapter up here so I can plumb in the coolant tank. That way we get the feed from the coolant tank into the water pump, the thermostat housing here that goes to the water pump. So we're almost done getting buttoned up on here. Obviously we'll still have to run all the plumbing for the external oil cooler, all that kind of stuff. We've got our fittings here. We've just got an out and an in to plumb in the oil cooler, the built-in thermostat. Everything is going pretty good on the front side here, but I think after we get at least the coolant bottle plumbed back into the thermostat housing, we can get the intake manifold back on and start having, you know, our throttle body location and hopefully getting an idea of how we're going to run the plumbing for not only the intake, but the intercooler back to the throttle body. The exhaust is just going to be a hood dump, so that should be fairly easy. Things are shaping up to start going back together in a big way on the front side of the engine. There's also a few other odds and ends that we're going to have to kind of figure out. There is a pipe that comes off, it tees off of the brake booster here where your check valve is on the brake booster. Typically runs along the firewall and goes to a fitting that's right where the fuel line comes in. So you've got those 3 fittings there. The turbo's in the way. So we're gonna have to figure out how to reroute that, definitely keep it away from the heat, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of little odds and ends that still need to be figured out, but we're getting there. The turbo in, is getting us really close to moving forward with all the fabrication process and getting the actual intercooler, cold side, hot side, all that stuff plumbed in, and you know, making this thing run on a turbo. We're getting there. All right, well, that's pretty much all I got for you in this one. I hope you liked the updates. We got the turbo in. Super happy that I was able to notch the firewall like that, get the turbo in. It's in a good placement, I think, so we just got to clock it, figure out all that. We will still have to run the oil drain for it. That's probably the most nerve-wracking part of the build, is actually drilling into the upper oil pan, because you screw that up, it's a screw up in a big way. We're moving forward, getting really close to doing a lot of the fabrication work on it, so I'm super excited for that. Kind of just started with notching that frame there to get the turbo in. It's just primered. I don't really care about painting it red. We'll just leave it as it is. Little update on the turbo 5-cylinder build. Turbo's in. The Arashi GTX3071R. It's going to be an absolute ripper on this 5-cylinder. I'm super excited for it. So we're making good progress. Just got to start tidying up stuff, and then start the fun fabrication process of getting all the plumbing in. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Pet a dog. Live a happy, wonderful life. Do a good deed for someone. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Fooled you. Bye-bye.